Ohayozaimasu. A nice little ear piercing bang to wake you guys up. How are we doing? A little bit tired, but we shall persevere. It's the end of the week. No swimming today. Let's see if we can get this block done. Good morning, everyone. Here we got usual suspects. Quilter, Vivid KP, Nerd Hat, Flyfish, welcome in, welcome in. Yesterday was fun, you know, that bonus stream. It's good fun. Progress, yeah, we made lots. I finished it, all the knife work. So it turns out my predictions are pretty spot on. I won't ramble too much today. Today I rambled a little too much. I don't want anyone else talking too much to throw at me. Still hot in there, yeah. It's summer in Japan. It's just that is the state of being hot. As you can see, I finished all the carving yesterday and I did a quick clear last night. I was sort of rushing on the clear. I've just been smoothing out a little bit now. Welcome in, Spiegel. Just a little bit of cleaning. Then we got a touch of U-gouging to do because as I said, I did it kind of quick. And so I didn't get to the smaller U-gouge. So a lot of this stuff in here needs a bit more U-gouging. We can kind of tell just looking at you. Looking at me, that I'm a little bit tired. Or the hot thing. How's the wood working out? Yeah, it's been good. This side of the block is a nightmare to clear. It just, either way, it won't go. So it's a bit frustrating. So I had to clean up this a lot. I want to take it a little bit deeper, but I'll do that. I'll do that later. I think we'll do a bit of U-gouging, then we'll do some ice ski work. And I reckon we can finish this today. Not on stream, but it will be done today. Which is actually why I called this stream Why Not Use a Laser? Because it's efficient. We are quick. It's a one-day key block. Granted, the design is a little bit simpler. Not as many lines on this one. Is it the wood grain? Yeah, the wood grain goes all which directions. Either way, it doesn't work down over here. It's just like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of flat and there's lots of waviness just on the side. The other bits, you know, they've come out pretty smooth for the most part. Also, good morning, Riku. I just want to clean up this outside edge a little bit. Oh, I'm off camera, sorry. I think I need to adjust that. This is where I'm centered. That's too close. Give me a second. I want to be working here. Beep. Tomorrow is put the 37-degree blade in the handle. We call it a band-aid day. Did you sharpen your knife yesterday to like 37? Also, why band-aid? You're not wrapping tape around your kogatana, are you? Use a metal jacket. or a band-aid because you often cut yourself when trying to change the blade angle. I used to get that so bad, you know. I used to hate sharpening because when I used to sharpen, the way I hold it, um, bit close. I hold it like this in my hand, and I place it on the block like this, and I rub my hand side to side. If we move a little bit forward, rub my hand side to side like this. But when you do that, often this part of your finger here will grind, and you want to hold that angle and make sure that you're not rocking it. So you want to really like lock your hands in, and so you feel it. Oh, that's grinding a little bit. My fingers like move down onto the blade. Your finger slowly shifts down like this as you're sharpening, and often I'd just like focus in on that angle, just wanted to get it perfect, and I do 3 knives at the same time as well. So by the end of doing all 3, like my skin would just be gone there. I think Band-Aid for the fingers. Yeah, I definitely needed them when I was doing my sharpening in the past. Langstar Strand, welcome in. I'm taking a break from Tin Can Villa Works. Perhaps for the fall fish camp to insert new blades. I'm not really understanding that sentence for real. Fall fish camp. Fly fish fun. You go to a fishing camp? You got a gift sub from yesterday's raid. Yeah, that was Mika Muka. Really, I sent her a whisper. I don't know if she got it. I really appreciate that. I wasn't expecting that. Everyone would get so excited just coming in. They hadn't even, most of them had not seen the stream before. Everyone was like first time chatters. And everyone was just like, not everyone, but loads of people were doning and giving bits and stuff. So I really wasn't, that's not why I set that thing up. It's because I didn't want to just do ice ski. I thought 2 birds, 1 stone. David offered to me a while ago, but I kind of wanted to like, it's not prove. I just want to be like self-sufficient. I want to do things, feel like I did this. So I didn't want to just like day one, like, raid me now, send over 600 people. I'd never heard Tin Can Villa before. Allow me to interpret Tin Can Villa, mobile domicile, fish camp, a strange custom where people gather mobile domiciles to see. Okay, I understand. We need a Vivi KP just here to interpret fly fish. She got it right as well. There's that fun with the English language we were talking about yesterday, isn't it? And I was nominally the person supporting that. And then when it happens and people start using it in the way I was saying, oh yeah, English language is fun to use creatively. Like what are we talking about here? I have no idea. I'm a babe lost in the woods. Okay, let's do a bit of U-gouging. We have two U-gouges, a small one and a big one. Let's get going. Get the registration marks first. Hey Taryn, you said you'd probably put the large solid block on a large solid area on a different block. Did you change your mind? No. I was always going to leave it here, but it is to be printed in black. But printing a large, deep, rich black on the key block, next to all these fine lines, it's like you're asking for trouble. And you can do it, but like for a printer to be efficient, that's not gonna fly. Something's gonna get blown out, or this won't be printed smoothly. The most likely thing I'll do is I'll leave it on this, and I'll just make another black block and match them like exactly, or step it out just a second. So I'll just do a second block. With the second block, I could remove this, but actually it'll be a nice rich blacks are kind of tricky to print, and so it'll be nice to have something under it to give it some base. Sorry, I'm shifting around so much. I just want to get these little things done. Then we'll lock in on a spot. Hello, Willie. Be better off to do this with the small chisel using the hammer. But I don't want to subject you to too much banging. This mat being not so grippy now is actually a benefit. Usually I have like a padded mat that slides. It's just cotton. I didn't get to hear what this block is about. This is the 11th print in the Adolescento Dreams of Future Past. This is the key block for it. I think there's 10 colours with the black. Yeah, 10. So key block and then 10 colours. But a lot of them, you can see that like most of the elements are like up here in the top. So there's a good chance I can get a lot of the like 2 colours on a lot of blocks by rotating, top and tailsing them. So I'm not sure how many blocks we'll actually need. A lot of the colours are sort of separated across top and bottom. Obviously backgrounds and stuff, they cover the whole thing. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this wood all in all though. It's not the hardest piece, but like super hard blocks, they can be a little bit tiring to clear, like this stage. Um, this part of the webbing in your finger here, that gets really worn out if you're working on a really hard block doing this all the time. That's why it's better to use a hammer whenever you can. Like this smaller stuff, I'd usually do this with the hammer because it really saves your hand. Willie, fun fact, whenever I first see your name, it reminds me of a pup we had until a couple of years ago. He's called Willie because I called her Willie because she's so damn clever. What's the link between Willie and clever? Not that saying anything against you, Willie. My one allotted lifetime dog. Why limit yourself? Dogs are great. When we were growing up, we had a dog called don't boy. I nearly called him the nickname. We had a dog called Deo. He was a sheepdog, and he was like obsessed with stones. We used to call him Stone Boy. And you'd just like throw a stone into the sea, and he'd look for the exact stone, like dive down, pick up a stone, and then realize it's the wrong one. Go back and get a different stone. Like obsessed with stones. And one of my biggest accidents as a kid, I've had a bunch of them, but one of my biggest accidents as a kid was because of that stone obsession. I've got a couple stitches from it. Not Willy Wiley sounds similar. Sorry, scan reading. My cat is named Corax. So with my dog, what happened? I was quite young, and actually I've had a few. This wasn't one of my near-death experiences, but my sister, the one older than me, she has nearly been my downfall a few times. Are your cats named after a raven? Okay. Corvus Corax. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Well, this isn't an existing Ginkgo family crest, so it's an original design. This is my this is my own design. I really like common designs, and to be honest, there's a few Ginkgo common, but I don't know. I don't like the actual ginkgo leaves in them a lot. They're like too sharp. There is one like I'm not sure if it's camel, and if it is, then it's like a lesser known one. I don't see it very often. But there's one that has like the little berries and a couple leaves. 오리지널.ごめんね。一応版画にありそうではオリジナル。すごい。ありがとう。本当に日本語あまり 読む得意んじゃないなんですよ。漢字はあんまり読めない。頑張りますだけど。I assume when you think you're done, you test print it and make adjustments to the test again. How many tests on average do you do until you're happy? This one, the key block is a little bit different. The key block will be printed multiple times because I'll use it for the transfers. In terms of tests, I usually do one, and if I have some adjustments to do, like just on a small area, I'll just like quickly put some water on that and just like take a quick impression from there. But I don't do rounds and rounds of uh, adjusting and then testing, unless it's like something really, really detailed and really iconic. Maybe like the hair on the samurai print I'll be working on soon. Maybe that will get like a couple layers of adjustments. I don't know. Or like a really detailed face or something like that might get. Neko? Are those characters in Mandarin too? So how are they pronounced? Guys are all testing my Japanese reading today. Please don't. You can all see that I can barely read in English. Making mistakes willy wily. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so how my sister nearly killed me. We were taking this dog, Deo, out for a walk. I must have been really young, maybe like 4. I don't know. And I love this dog. I put the lead like wrapped around my arm, so I put my hand through the loop and then held onto the lead. And he was such a good boy, but like when he's when someone threw a stone for him, like he switched and like the world didn't exist. He got super tunnel vision. So I was really young. I was holding this dog. I'd wrapped the lead around my arm, and my elder sister picks up a stone and just throws it, not really thinking for the dog, just like throwing a stone. And he just went, and I was quite small and light, and so I just sort of Supermaned behind him, and eventually, like he ran really fast. He didn't really care that someone was like being dragged behind him, and I guess I don't really remember much of this, but according to the story, my hand slips out and I go flying into like a planter. There was, like there's like a flower bed, it's raised and it's like 3 bricks high type of thing. But anyway, I hit the corner of that right in the middle of my forehead. I got 3 stitches here in the center. It used to be more pronounced when I was younger, and I used to actually have like scratch marks across my face from it, but I guess they weren't very. I don't know. Scars aren't supposed to heal, but I guess they weren't very deep, and yeah, skin on your face renews quite often. So maybe that's why they like minimized over time. But I did used to have some scratches on my face and a scar here, sort of like Naruto. Yeah. No, I did have them for loads of years. I was like teens when they started like completely disappearing. They weren't super noticeable, but they were there. I had like scratches. That's what happened. That's not the only one. I've got worse head injuries. I'm pretty sure there was a small like what do you call it? Um, green cane fracture, is it? Green something. I'm sure it's green cane, where the the bones sort of like splinters off like a fresh piece. It's not a big fracture, it doesn't break, but it like sort of splinters a little bit. So I had a little bit of splintering there as well in my head. I wore I remember having a neck brace like for a long time. I've worn that neck brace multiple times. Survived natural selection more than once. I've got so many of these. That's not a near death story, but I've got several near death stories. Green stick fracture. What did I say? Green cane. Green stick. Thank you. Does anyone have any interesting um, injury stories? Scars do fade over time sometimes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess especially on areas that like renew quite often. I nearly accidentally stepped off a high-rise roof once. I shudder every time I think of it. Oh, there's so many easy ways to just like accidentally take yourself out the gene pool. Struggling to stay on. I once got stabbed by a carpenter for wearing the wrong shoes to work. Like, what do you mean stabbed by a carpenter? Just in the arm there. Okay. That's all right then. Stab away. I had two black eyes in 1 year. Once was for stomping on a branch to break it. Okay, I see what happened. The rake thing, right? One end flipped up and thwacked me in the side of the head. A few months later, I opened a car door onto my face. That's it's not a natural selection moment, but like perhaps it should have been. You opened a car door onto your face. This was just last year as well, right? I got called in on a day off. I was finishing. Um, I was fishing. He was the site super, and was livid. I was on his site without boots, so he stabbed you. He sounds charming. I remember once when I was a teen, I decided to step over an inconvenient placed empty stroller instead of moving out the way. I tripped over it and knocked myself out. We need that song to pop up every time I read one of these. Dumb ways to die. I can't really laugh too much at any of you because all my stories are going to come out eventually. A lot of them as well, just because I was like a an evil Knievel kind of kid, just like jumping off everything. I got a bunch of almost drowned ones. I think I told you one of them as well before, right? The pool in Scotland. There's a few more drowning ones. Chicago carpenters are insane. Chicago is the Wild West. Mm-mm-mm. Let's get a small one now. Is that in focus? Oh no, I'm out of coffee. A lot of streamers have, for like, I don't know, the bits. No, not the bits. The chips. They have like drink water as a thing. Put a drink coffee one in there. I jumped my bike off my grandma's porch on a dare, hit the handlebars on impact, knocked the wind out of me, thought for sure I was a goner. I'll tell you one. I nearly did something very similar to that. I wanted to jump off my school roof on my rollerblades. I used to do like aggressive inline skating back when that was the cool thing to do. I wanted to jump off my school roof, and yeah, it was like the school roof was like a big slate roof like this, but off to the side there was a flat one, and I thought I'd get up there and I'd jump off, but I got up there in my on my with my rollerblades on my feet, and there was like stones and stuff all over the top of the roof. It was just like it was like a gravel path on top, and it's sort of like I couldn't get going to get some momentum. So I took my shoes off and I just like I hung down from the roof and I dropped barefoot. And I landed barefoot sort of like sideways on one of my ankles, and I still have problems on it today, you know. I didn't even like it's not even the cool story. Like I almost broke my ankle jumping off the school roof. No, I wanted to jump off my school roof. There was stones on the roof, and I jumped down barefoot and it nearly broke me. We should rename this stream so death is coming for us all. The talk about laser cutters didn't last very long. Gee, all I've ever done is broke my um scarlicus in how do you pronounce scapulas? Okay, I was wondering. In both my wrists falling out of my wheelchair. One wrist had a cast, the other didn't. Trying to push myself in a wheelchair with one hand, round and round and round. Oh, that sounds rough. And especially like you're trying to do all the work with one hand, but also that hand was nearly in a cast as well, right? A little bit more and we'll move on. I guess it doesn't really change for you guys. I'm still just poking at some wood. It's really good to take a little bit of extra time, like do this nicely, because it makes the next stage go much quicker and much safer. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, best one for me. Beach landing training in USMC. Camp Pendleton. Arm attack started filling with water. Realized we had sunk, sitting on the bottom of a 20 feet of seawater, giving me chills to think about even this day. Wow, Jesus. Wait, so you were in the beach landing training? Okay, wow. Underwater boat. Why were you doing beach landing training? What was this for? Was this military thing or that Arctic is an amphibious landing vehicle? For any others who were confused about the train being on the beach. Okay, thank you. Marine Corps. USMC. Okay, US Marine Corps. The base I went to, Ikoto, was that Marines? No, I think it was military and it was the Air Force, yeah. We talked about that, didn't we? When I did the thing with Asuka Sensei on the Yokota base. I think that's enough picky. Let's move on to a different sort of picky. Start with a nice big one. A little bit of oil. Gorgeous wood grain, yeah. It looks lovely, but not great for printing. If I was trying to print this just as a solid black, I'd have maybe chosen a different key block for this. These grain lines here will definitely show up because they're quite hard. Okay. It's not as big as I think. This the one. Is the wood hard to carve with a strong grain? It depends on the block. Mostly, you don't really feel it. It sort of unifies under the blade. You often do get like particularly hard spots. Like maybe you can't see the knot. Maybe the knot was on like a layer above, but the wood still around that knot is still pretty hard. Like hard spots like that are much more common. The difference in the grain, like it's noticeable when you print, but not so much when you carve. Although there are exceptions, like occasionally you'll get like a line. So you'll be pushing through and go and it'll stop at a line. So you get little jumps. It's gotta be careful. Take it easy, take it slow. Struggling to stay on camera today with all this rotating. Well, I guess I struggle in general anyway. What else did I have to talk about? Ah, okay. That was something I wanted to talk about. I think someone suggested it to Dave on his stream. But Dave emailed me. Like I emailed him after the stream just to say thank you. And then he suggested, but I think it came from maybe one of you, that because he's gone on Monday, that I should take over his Monday slot. I can't remember who suggested that. Anyway, it's a nice idea. The unfortunate thing is I drop my son off. I leave the house at 8:30. Sort of from like 6:30 to till the time we leave and I drop him off at school is sort of daddy son time. So it's not really possible to stream at Dave's usual time, but I could come on later. Thanks for answering the question. No worries, no worries. So I miss a couple streams every now and again, but I make them up, right? It's been a bumper week for you guys the last 7 days. What's everyone's thought about that? Should I just stick to my standard? Yeah, that's the thing. There's not many European viewers at that time. I think you're talking about the boats capsizing and stuff. There's the village I spent most of my childhood in, where I'll be going back when I go to the UK. It's got a lifeboat station not so far from it. And they got like this really, really super expensive new like upgrade boat that does all that like self-righting, and it's like the top of the line lifeboat. Also like any water that gets in, it pumps out and stuff. Flushed. A smaller chisel. Too small. So yeah, if you guys think it's a good idea, you guys are up for it, I can do Monday at 9:30, just standard time. I can post in the Discord on the announcement pages if I decide to do it, or we can maybe decide today. Maybe the deciding factor should be if I'm doing something interesting that day. I don't really want to be doing color separation. It'll mean I'll have to do a lot of work today to get everything ready for Monday. Assuming tracing is almost over. Yeah, I haven't been doing it the last couple of days, obviously. I've just got like 3 more lines of kanji to trace, and then I'll be moving on to the colors. I'd watch if I remembered it's on. Has anyone here actually watched Cowboy Bebop? Because this is giving me real Cowboy Bebop vibes. I have. Fan? They did a live action as well, right? I love Bebop. I didn't get any notifications for your Gorilla stream. Have you clicked the bell? Starting to become one of those. Click the bell. Wow, this is why I don't do this at the end of videos. Click the bell and yeah, cheers. Like and subscribe. Strong Bebop vibes. Yeah. It must be inspired by Bebop, surely. That's got to be right. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Yeah. I enjoyed Bebop. The soundtrack was great. I really enjoyed the story. He does like really episodic. Like that's just like his style. I don't know what the director's name is, but he makes very episodic series with that, like sort of drip feed you the wider story in little bits here and there. And it's a style. My favorite was Cowboy Bebop. Again, the soundtrack. I really like that story. You prefer Shampoo? I'm not sure what you mean by forced though. Do you feel Bebop is kind of forced? Oh, you prefer the episodic style? Yeah, it's relaxed. You can just like jump in anywhere. And if you want to have like a rewatch, you just feel like I could watch a little bit of that. You can jump in at any episode. You don't have to like commit to starting One Piece from episode one again. Do you know what I mean? Ah, you're saying learning the Sakinuta? I actually started. I was like, I go through little phases of getting excited about like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna do some studying, and I thought a new way to do it might be to like listen to songs, get the lyrics up in Japanese, in English, and Nomaji if you need it, if it hasn't got furigana or something, and then like learn the song because I remember lyrics of songs in English really, really well. So I thought if I did this with Japanese, I could learn like a bunch of different stuff. And I started with Saki no Uta, but it was it's such a fast song. It was like the wrong song to start with, learning it from scratch. I've got like the first bit in the chorus, and then I don't know what happened. I guess I got busy with the project, and then it fell by the wayside, as everything does. But yeah, it's funny you say that. I'm not going to sing it now. With enough alcohol, I do a great Johnny Cash. Mm, I was able to catch the band performing live. Um, wow, renditions of the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. That's cool. How was that? Where was that? Is it like a big band? Was it the real same people or just people doing covers? You said renditions. Catch a band. Okay. Some people sing better when they're sober. Some people, a lot of people don't sing when they're sober is the problem. Probably most people sing better when they're sober if they had the same confidence as when they were drunk. Yeah, Langstrad's got the same thought, same brain cell. I have noticed that the borderline in other subscription prints were thin and straight. This is not the case with Dreams in Future Past. This is so deliberate choice. Is this a deliberate choice or the woodblocks through them limitations? Hmm? The borderlines being wavy. No, the borderlines being wavy is a deliberate choice. We don't have happy accidents like that. It depends on the sort of aesthetic feel you're going for. Both we had a choice actually with the very first print. Like they'd drawn some borders in, and I talked to Dave. What do you want to do? Do you want to do ruled borders or do you want to do sort of tasty wavy sort of borders? And he was really quite skeptical. He likes like clean straight borders, for a lot of his stuff. Like that's probably where he leans if he's got a choice for wavy or ruled borders. Sort of that's where he probably leans. And I think I don't know. I'm on the fence. It depends on the image. And we talked about it and I think because what I put forward was because they're like sort of looser watercolor artists. A lot of these designs they haven't ended up fully embracing. They've got little elements of that loose watercolor style, but they haven't really fully embraced the watercolor. Like just be loose with it. A little bit cleaner than I thought we'd go with them. But like on the first print, we had to make all these decisions, because they've got to be all consistent. So I sort of pushed for wavy borders because I think it matched the aesthetic of what we're going for. And Dave agreed, and that's how I did the first print. So that's how all the subsequent prints were done. And actually, with this print, I have a file for printing on my Photoshop, and I had the previous image in there with the registration. They send a file that's like exactly the dimensions of the outside paper, and then I extract. I take all the white off the background, and then I put it into a different file I have, which has the registration marks. And when I did that, I moved it over. I noticed that like because these are hand drawn as well, there is actual slight variation in the width and thickness because of where they draw the like they obviously have a template for drawing these by hand, but if they draw on the outside or the inside of those lines, the dimensions change quite a bit. And I guess the last two prints that I made, one of them was drawn sort of like center or inside of the lines, and the other one was drawn on the outside, and so it's quite noticeable, the difference. That's all part of it. Had to look it up, and they tour around occasionally. They go by Cowboy Bebop Live. Nice. Is Adult Swim or Cartoon Network worldwide? We had Cartoon Network in the UK. I think maybe Adult Swim. I don't know about worldwide. All I can say, definitely not in Japan. But we had Cartoon Network. I used to watch Naruto when I came home from school. Never a really like big anime watcher, but I do enjoy anime. I'm completely out of it now though. I heard I was in a stream recently listening to people just talk, and they were like talking about anime, I think, and I just had no idea who any of these people are. Like my animes are like, I know Cowboy Bebop and Mushishi and like all these old animes, Standalone Complex, stuff like that. And I just had no idea what any of these people were talking about. Gegege no Kintaro. Gegege no Kintaro. 知らない. What's that? Kintaro じゃなくて Kitaro. Gegege 知らない. Is that an anime? It's an anime about yokai. That's your favorite. Is it an older one or a newer one? Let me search it up. G. Ah, straight up. Oh, 2020. Hmm. Interesting. No, I've never seen that. There have been 3 also remakes of the series. I love it. Started in the 60s, many versions. I think I've seen an anime, like I haven't watched episodes, but like I've seen like an anime with like these really large, oversized yokai. Camera. This is where the grain's all funny. I gotta be careful here. It's wanting to pull away. Hmm. Either way, it's just no good on this side. So you just got to go slowly and try not to take too much. I haven't seen Speed Racer either. I watched a lot of anime, but I can't really think of the ones I've seen off the top of my head right now. Hmm. And I'm drawing a blank. Which are the ones I really liked? Speed Racer was on TV when I was a kid. Didn't that one also get a remake? Call them cartoons, not anime in West Texas. It's funny, like people in Japan, anything that's animated, they call anime. But I guess in the West, like anime is a very there's like debates about whether like Atoll is even Avatar: The Last Airbender is like an anime because it wasn't made in Japan. I don't think it really matters, but nerds get quite opinionated when it comes to definitions of things. But in Japan, that's just the word for animation, right? So whether it's Disney or it's Ghibli, they're both just anime. Akira's classic, yeah. I thought in my early days that poster, the Akira poster with the bike, I thought that would make a fantastic hanger. Sort of gone off the idea of anime manga. because they're so poorly conceptualized nowadays, but there was a point before they were being done in the way they're being done that I like the idea. And I still think that would make a really pretty print, but I'm not sure there's a point to making it. You did the tension one, it's pretty good. Didn't you? No worries, if you need to pop off of it, thank you for showing up. No stress if you have to go. Much more subdued stream today. It's been pleasant. We had a bouncy one yesterday, and today's a little bit more subdued. I guess how tired or sleepy I am on any given stream, it like sort of sets the tone. Is this going to be a calm one, or? I guess all the extra people in as well yesterday was like, I thought Johnny Quest, Bonica's super imposter, is a real human. It's being dialogue, kind of creepy. I've got a collection of anime screenshots that I'll turn into woodblock prints some days. Oh yeah, you were making the... I was speaking more generally about a certain publisher when I was speaking chicken. Just so you know, I wasn't making digs at anyone in chat. I'm guessing the Akira poster is on your list as well, right? Yeah. Naughty, naughty. We've got 20 minutes. So you can see, like, one of the ways I do my ice king, my preferred way, is not to... I guess at one point, where was I? I was like switching between blades, but usually I just grab my biggest one. And then I do all the outsides first, and then I'll do like any inside bits that this big one can also do. I'll try and get most of the work done with the big one. And not switch so much. If there's a section that like I'm worried like if I don't do it now that I'll forget about a little bit, it's easy to like not see where the lines are, I'll often jump in with the little bits. But like in general, I tend to go big and then slowly work my way down. Just do the outsides first. Not much oil on this. but you don't need much. Oh no, your kitty. Is she okay? Oh, he's fine now. Okay, thank God. Scary during the 2021 deep freeze. Nobody had power. What is this? North Texas froze over in 2021. There will come a day I'll need to look up that flavor of cat food. It comes for us all. Who needs a catheter when you've got cat food? Texas cold snap, is that a thing? I guess I missed that cycle. But how cold does a cold snap in Texas really get though? Oh no, it's down to 24. There was an almost statewide power grid collapse, 4 days with temperatures well below freezing. Wow. All the pipes in our house froze one day as a kid. No running water, and my dad had to blowtorch the pipes for hours that day. Wow, that was fun. It just reminded me, I guess no one's going to get this reference. There's none of you, yeah, most of you are Americans. Does anyone know the Ricky Gervais show? Or just when KP mentioned the frozen, the cold snap in Texas in 2021, it reminded me of like when Carl was saying back in the 70s when there was all those winds, those strong winds and that. It's over all your heads, isn't it? Someone out there, maybe in the VODs, will get that reference. Them winds in the 70s. No, no one. It's a good reference. What have we got? Get into that. So today I have to. Japan doesn't have a dual nationality, but kids who are half, they can keep their they can keep a dual nationality until they are 18, and then they have to sort of make a decision if they want. In my son's case, it'll be the Japanese or the British passport, which one they want to be a citizen of. The UK, they do dual nationalities, like with the, I think one of my friends is American and no, Zimbabwe and British dual nationality. Or is he American? I don't know. Anyway, I haven't until now. I haven't actually sent away his like to be able to get his British passport. He's got a Japanese passport for flying over to the UK now. But I haven't submitted the papers because um well, there's a lot of like frustrating documents, like my birth certificate and stuff. It's all over the place, and my name is like spelt different um on my bank and on my birth certificate, my passport. There's like names in my family is crazy. I think my elder sister, 1 year older than me, she has like five different names, all spelt like put in different orders and stuff like that. My parents messed around with all the kids' names, and it's just made our whole all of our lives really frustrating. I think with my elder sister, they called her. I think they called her Jez for the first like 3 years, and then they decided they didn't like it, like Jezebel, and then they just decided to change it. So she's had to deal with that like a nightmare. And also, we changed our surname as a family, and there's only one document for that, like the deed poll for the whole family. And so I've been a bit nervous about sending that to the UK. They need original documents for everything. I've been nervous about sending that to the UK because, like, if it goes missing in the post, like as hard as things are now, things would be so much. Things can be so much worse if we lose that document because it's not just one person. It's like everyone will then suffer for not having this document. So I've been doing the prep. Ayana's been helping me with a little bit of translating for like birth certificates and stuff like that. And we're going to take it in person. So that's a bit of what I've been spending my evenings doing recently, not necessarily carving work. No, I can't do it at the consulate. They want you to send all the original documents back to the UK, which is a nightmare. So I've been putting off sending it back. UK is not really red tape. It's you can't really pay to get things done quicker. It's just sort of like really inefficient. But everything's online, so that's good. But a lot of the documents like they don't match up, so have to like collate a bunch of different documents to like show they're correct approval. Japan doesn't really have like a birth certificate per se. So I have to get like the family registration and the hospital birth um slip, stuff like that, to like make up for match the documents. There's a bunch of extra documents than. And the other thing is it costs 200 quid. And like if you don't get one of the documents or it's incomplete or they're missing something, they just keep the £200 and they don't say, could you just send us this as well? You have to start from the start again. They send them all back, which I think is a real big scam. That any chance if he chose to go to a boarding school, uh, we are not that type of family. I wouldn't ever send him to a boarding school. My eldest sister, she went to a boarding school. We were talking about the other day in Llandudno, and it really didn't. It was really not very good for her. Mostly because like a little bit of a difficult childhood, like not so much money and stuff like that. And then she was just surrounded by all the richest people from like 100-mile area, and it's not very good for her. She got like a grant to do it. I don't think I'd like to send my son to that. I've seen some printmakers do something like that. Sorry, let me read the previous one. Would it maybe help with something like this key block to print the master paper with black and then filled with, let's say, green to make it easier to spot if you have gotten any material you need to remove or it's easier to see in person? Print the master paper. Are you talking about the key lines here? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Are you saying that the lines would have green in the center to make them stand out? Or the lines themselves would be green? Oh, or are you saying that the background of the actual wood should be green? Ah, okay. Well, they do that in a lot of other printmaking traditions. I don't ever print in color because it sort of seems to not stick as well. I guess there's some sort of coating on the paper on the printers, the laser printers we use. Um, it's a lot of like wood cutters in the more European style. They stain the wood beforehand, right? They they paint it black or something, or green or red or blue before. That's just not part of the tradition. I don't know. It's it could be a thing, but if there are any spots missed, you always have to print this before making the final edition anyway. So if there are any spots there, you spot them really easily on the finished print, and then you just go back and it's a couple of seconds. So it's not really a big like pain point for us. So I guess that's why it never really took off. We are following lines quite accurately, and if you're doing something more loose, like if I was doing a sosaku thing and I was using my U gouge to like actually make the shape, so I was using a V gouge to sort of like draw on the block, having that difference in color would really help. But I don't think it's really necessary for like seeing the areas that you need to remove. But if you're using your knives more in a drawing way, absolutely, that'd be really nice to have that color difference. between like the top surface of the wood and carve down. Anyway, it's like toning, killing the white. I've seen some printmakers do something like that, rubbing blue, green pigment on the surface block before pasting the image down. Yeah. Not in the Japanese tradition, anyway. Not that there'd be anything wrong with that. It's just really not a step that's really necessary for us. It doesn't look like so much progress. We've got the insides still only doing, but around the outsides are all done here. Not this one. But this will be nice, you know, peaceful, steady work. I'll be doing this slowly today, and I'll probably get a test print off at some point. I'll think about Monday, see where I'm up to on this. Might need to pop out, and in that case I might not get to finish everything, and I'll be a bit prepped if I want to start working on the colours. I'll have a think about it today, and I'll post this weekend in the announcements if I'm going to do the Monday stream. I have done that for a while, line technique. See what the printed image would look like as you carve it. Yeah. I can see the advantages to it. If you're working in a certain style, or you're trying to paint actually with your knife. Oh, we're in an ad break now. I'm just gonna do a bit more quiet carving, and then when the ad people are back, we can say goodbye. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. I am gasping for a drink. Better get some more coffee in me as well. Thanks for streaming. Thanks, mods. I am the mods. I am the streamer. You can thank me. No mods yet. If you're looking for a position, you can put forward your petition. No test print. No test print. No. I told you it wasn't going to happen. We've still got some more clearing to do before I do a test print. The block comes before. Yeah, there's a bunch of the stuff inside. I know if you're looking on a smaller screen, maybe it looks like it's kind of clear, but I still haven't done the border. I still got to do a bunch of the inside stuff. Okay. Yeah, it's an efficient process. We put the thing about why not use a laser because it's so efficient, but we haven't been super efficient. I've talked a bit. Anyway, let me see if there is someone we can raid here. Let's just refresh this. See who's online. Rolls with ink and watercolor. Let me just check in making and crafting. If anyone's got any suggestions, I'm open. Hope you have a good coffee. You did ask me what coffee am I drinking, and at the moment I'm having not very good coffee. I'm just having the little bags of like, I forget the brand. You know, the drip bags you just put on top of your coffee cup. I used to be a bit of a coffee snob, but I've there's no good coffee shops near me, and I can't be spending all that money. So it's cheap coffee for me at the moment. Let's go here. We're gonna go to Amublu. We rated them before. They're doing like spinning. So if you're into yarn, I know there's a few people in the stream who are into yarn. Enjoy. Say hi. Thanks so much for showing up, everyone. I will see you again perhaps Monday, but definitely Tuesday. Check the Discord. And thanks for showing up. Peace. Great.